Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, a great millstone, who are teaching this truth in sincerity. And a shout out to Yakim that's out there in four quarters of the earth proclaiming this truth. Braka the Yahweh, Braka the Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rakakadash, Brakatam. So, out here another week to do another lesson. And, well, as you know, Esau has more planned shootings, mass shootings, more false flag events, because he knows that his time is short. So in order to speedy up the New World Order that he wants, part of his New World Order plan is to get the guns off the streets. So what better way than to coordinate a series of shootings, which was well planned in advance, and taking advantage of the media, which the media is his witchcraft that he uses to convince everyone to want to give in their guns, And if he could use the John Lennon song, Give Peace a Chance, these Edomites would do so, because they come in disguise under this God is all love thing, but yet at the same time they've shown nothing but hatred, because stretch Christianity is based on nothing more than lies, hatred, and slavery, Thus, the slave Bible, and they wanted to admit certain things that, taught you certain precepts, So they wanted us to stay in our dead state. They wanted our dead bodies to lie in the city. But you see, the spirit of life has entered into us, and that we would no longer be dead, but yet we would call upon our heritage, Yasha Allah, and we would call upon the names Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, which the Paleo-Hebrew had been hidden, but wasn't hidden. It never was truly dead. It's just that for so long people believe that gibberish, that Giddish, was the Hebrew, and it really wasn't. That was a bastard tongue, because these bastards have stolen our identity. And the fact that we know that now, these bastards can no longer hide behind that, And, in other things, Amma al-Assad had actually defeated cancer. That's another thing you won't hear about too much, because, of course, they consider Bashar al-Assad an enemy. But yet, at the same time, though, most people actually respect Bashar al-Assad a lot more than they do Trump or anybody. And, in fact, Bashar al-Assad said this: what good would it do for me to talk to the president of the United States when he ain't really the president? He's just nothing more than an Illuminati puppet. He's just the guy wearing the suit. Bashar al-Assad has said this because over there, they know, and it's not even considered conspiracy theories. And that's another thing, though, is that they're saying that so-called conspiracy theories are the reason behind these terror attacks, right? Oh, it wouldn't be the Edomites, right? It wouldn't be the oligarchy. It wouldn't be, the Rothschilds behind it, the bankers that fund everything. No, it has to be those that believe that there's a conspiracy, those of us that are in the know, that know how the Illuminati works. But the word Illuminati is already spread. Everybody knows what the Illuminati is. It's not a secret society anymore, They even consider the Ku Klux Klan a secret society, but everybody knows about them. They just hide behind their sheets. Just like these other people, they molest children. Like, you can't say that you're a Roman Catholic priest without even being referenced as a child molester, because, of course, everybody knows what goes on behind the pulpits. That's what these people are. They're pedophiles, and that the church is nothing more than a front for their pedophilia. And the same thing with Christianity. Same thing going on. You always hear about a pastor being busted, right? But they try to keep it under the rugs, because, of course, religion has played its part in the politics and everything else. Because, of course, Esau has been using the Bible to his advantage, but it's just not working anymore, because we're not in that dead state. So I'm going to read out of Revelation 11, because we're in this time now. Jacob's troubles are right around the corner. Starting here: and when they have finished their testimony, the beast that ascended out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them, and shall overcome them and kill them. And what's that talking about? That's talking about martial law, FEMA, and the fact that pretty much, man, the word of Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, the ability of being able to go on the internet and spread this word, they're going to kill it, man. And their dead bodies shall lie in the great street, in the street of the great city, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, where our Lord, Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, was crucified. And how was that? The image, They got rid of the original image by way of iconoclasm, put up the images of Caesar Borgia and then changed everything to look like the so-called white man, you know? Make you think that the Edomites were the gods of the earth, you know? Thus showing himself that he was God. And they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3.5, in other words, will be in a dead state, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in the graves, you know, because, of course, they've seen us in our dead state. But now they're seeing something else, and this is what's scaring them. And they that dwell on the earth shall rejoice over them, because, yeah, at one time, we the Israelites, we the prophets, we were put down, you know, and you didn't see us. It's only until recently, like around 1969, 1970, that this thing started to re-emerge, that the spirit of life had entered into us, because that's, you know, but during that time period, during the Renaissance, during Christianity, man, you know, no, man, you didn't see prophets out here, man. Now you see the image of Caesar Borgia out there, and you've seen the so-called white man showing himself that he was God. Shall, because of these two prophets, tormented them that dwell on the earth. Yeah. Because we was putting hurt on them, man. We bound Esau up for 1,000 years. And then when he had gotten loosed out of his prison, he was able to come out and to do this. They shall rejoice over them and make merry. That's all those that were partakers. Psalm 83 goes into this even more so. And shall send gifts to one another, because these two prophets, which is the northern and southern kingdom, you know, in particularly the spirits, you know, of life, you know, they were no longer around, you know. Finally, we had forgotten that we were Israelites. Tormented them that dwell on the earth. But this is the part that's scaring Esau, because now he sees he has nothing left. Edomite is a wounded animal. And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai entered into them. They stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them, you know. People are afraid now because they're finding out, because they're trying to read and to research the Bible, and they're finding out that what we're actually saying is true. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, Come up hither, as they ascended up into heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. And that's talking about when the chariots come and rescue us. You're seeing chariot sightings everywhere. We know that this time is near. And in the same hour was there a great earthquake. It's by way of them thermonuclear missiles, and by way of them ships, destroying this place. And the 10th part of the city fell, and in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000, and the remnant were affrighted, and gave glory unto Yahweh of heaven. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe come quickly. And that's where we're at. We're heading into World War III. As you can see, though, that pretty much, though, he's about to roll that out. That's why you're starting to see these shootings. That's why you're starting to see more of places closed, because he's getting FEMA ready. That's why you're hearing helicopters all the time. That's why, you know, you're seeing all this fire prevention shit. You know, that's why Car Fire happened last year. He's getting ready, man. He's getting ready to lock up all those. You know, he can't have no revolution, man. Oh, and speaking of which, revolution. What's kind of funny is this month, Woodstock's coming up, right? Yeah, man. So, do you think it's going to be as powerful as it was in 1969, where a whole bunch of people are going to try to protest against the war? Oh, man, everything's controlled, man. And that's just it, though, is that, you know, there's the tongue is starting to bite on them, you know, because they're finding out, as they're reading it for themselves, that what we're saying on the streets is actually lining up at what they've been told for years. That's not lining up with what they're reading. It doesn't line up. They're starting to see that. And that's what's scaring them more than anything else. So, you know, they have no hope whatsoever. And that's why they're doing more crazy things like shooting up malls and all that. You know, because they want to kill us. Of course they do. Duh. You know, as Charlton Heston said it, you'll pry that out of my cold dead hands. And that's how the Edomite feels about us, you know. That pretty much, man, you know, they think that America belongs to them, but it doesn't. It never did. You know, and they got us into believing in that dead state that this land is your land, this land is our land, you know, bullshit. And when in fact it was nothing like that. They stole it, they've been living on stolen land, and they were never willing to give it back. Never once has anyone ever come up and say, you know what, we've wronged you, and we're sorry about what we've done. As if their apology is worth anything, because we know that deep in the hearts of this say, well, then give us everything, man. And say, fuck you, out of my cold dead hands. just like Charlton Heston said. So, we don't expect anything from them. We spit on their apologies, because the only recompense there is when Yahushua comes and destroys this place once and for all. And that's why he's gathering the leaders of the world, the kings of the earth, to make war against this place. And that's what's happening, and Donald Trump is the perfect one to get the storm started. Everything falls into place for a reason. And the Edomites have had 2 reigns. Unlike all the other empires, the Egyptians, no, they only had 1 reign. Greeks, no, 1 reign. Even though the Edomites considered themselves the Greeks, but they're not. And then the Persians had their reign, And you see this whole thing with war with Persia as an old grudge that Amalek has with Elam. That's why you're constantly, Iran's being bashed and all that. And it also has to do with the Islamic Revolution of 1979 when they broke away. You see, the Amalekites used to run all the oil, and they had control over Iran when they did a coup d'etat back in the 50s. But you see, they broke off in 1979, and they, of course, armed Saddam Hussein with them weapons of mass destruction, the same ones that they couldn't find in Iraq. But they had used that purposely to disarm Saddam, because Saddam didn't get their dirty work done. So they went into Iraq and they destroyed that, and they put their bases there, just like they've done with Afghanistan. That's why you'll never hear, even if they do say, oh yeah, we're going to pull troops out of Afghanistan, they never do it, because of course not. It's a strategic port. It's a strategic port to keep that sphere of influence. But you see, that's just it. The sphere of influence, this place, Babylon the Great, is falling. And you can see that. And that's why you're going to see more false flags. They want to get everybody locked up and put into them camps, and pretty much want to get them on the microchips. And that's why you're starting to see it more and more happening. More people taking the chips and getting ready for this. That's why you're going to see more celebrities promoting the microchip. That's why you hear Brooke Shields saying that I'd give my kid the microchip. I'd chip my kids. They're going to keep promoting it, and it's going to get to a point, though, this being the year Charagma, that it won't be by volunteer. Pretty much, though, that this whole thing will be going into martial law very shortly here. And so for all that, just come out and proclaim this while you still can. Take advantage of the time that you still have left, and use it wisely, because they are coming after this. So I hope all this has been edifying, and until next time, Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahweh Shai, Bashem Rakal Kadash, Wa Abba Babal, Barak a thumb to your hopeful elect.